very often people ask me about the visibility of the church, the indefectibility of the church. How come, with all this mess we got, we can still talk about the church being visible and indefectible? Next Sunday I'm going to celebrate the High Mass, and Father Bolduc will celebrate the Low Mass. The Sunday after, Father Bolduc will celebrate both Masses. Whatever you see, it is of not the slightest importance if it is Dr. Hesse or Father Bolduc celebrating up there. Who cares? The important thing is what we do up there. Is the church visible? You see the church because you see that in a pretty much similar way, not all too identical, but pretty much similar way, we come out here with the chalice, we genuflect, we go up to the altar, we start in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. It's the same, basically. What you see, you find in your missal. You got your Sunday missal. Your Sunday missal doesn't say latest edition 1998 spring, something like that. Your Sunday missal says 1962 and earlier. So your Sunday missal dates back to the old days. There is no such thing as a 1998 spring missal. Well, in the Church of the New Advent out there, you have a 1998 spring edition, a 1998 summer edition, 1998 fall edition, and so on, as you got it with a quarterly newspaper or magazine. If I want the writing 1998 spring on something, then I prefer the Veranda magazine, which is, by the way, beautiful, and something like that. But not with a missal. A missal represents the church eternal, the church here. And in a way, even though the church will cease to be as such at the last judgment, there is something as the church eternal, the bride of Christ, that cannot die. In St. Patrick's Cathedral, with the loudspeakers on the pillars and the TV monitors there, so you can follow the beautiful happenings up front. That is not the church visible. That is heresy visible. That is the Neo-Protestantism visible. That is the Church of the New Advent visible. Who said it's the Church of the New Advent? Pope John Paul II in his first encyclical. That is the conciliar church visible. Who calls it that? Pope John Paul II in his first encyclical. Who does not speak about the Roman Catholic Church or the Catholic Church in his first encyclical? John Paul II in Redemptor Hominis. But here, in this church, and later on, if you are good enough to help, in the church over there, you will see the church visible. And there you will see the indefectibility of the church much better than you could see it in the 1950s. You know all the trouble, all the battles, all the fights, the priests like Father Bolduc and I had to go through? Church teaches? That is the indefectibility of the church visible. See, even that vast majority of bombs, even the North American Episcopal Conference, those criminals out there could not keep us from teaching what the church teaches. If that is not indefectibility, then I don't know what is. The church as such is indefectible. But the indefectibility of the church does not mean that all of the members are all right. A certain Dr. Martin Luther got quite confused in the 16th century when he found out that the Pope who reigned between 1490 and 1503 had children. He was scandalized. I'm talking about Pope Alexander VI, who had children while he was Pope. And Martin Luther made a terrible mistake. He said the church is not indefectible. The papacy therefore does not represent the church. The papacy is not infallible because an infallible pope could never, ever have children. I don't see the logics. The fact that I would have the Holy Spirit guaranteed to me if I was a pope does not make me impotent, excuse me if I name it in these terms. And it certainly does not make me cease to be a sinner. And it certainly, the Holy Spirit does not lock the doors to the papal apartments. The Holy Spirit does not keep a morally degraded woman from approaching the Pope. There's no logic in that. It has nothing to do with the indefectibility of the church. It has nothing to do with the fact that the church is a perfect society. The church has never said we have only perfect members. You know that there were priests and bishops who said only the perfect members are members of the church? Do you know that that was condemned as a heresy? Jansenism and Donatism. Two heresies. In the old days, when the understanding of the church was much better than now, whoever said that the church can only have perfect members was a heretic. The church is composed of an awful lot of sinners. But as such, it is indefectible and a perfect society.